Ayo Renzo Gang, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? So today, this right here is gonna be another real life, real life talk, with y'all. Before I get into this topic, I just want to say I hope everyone's had an amazing day today. Hope everyone's, safe to do, be safe out here. Not just with the ice situation, but just be safe out here in general when you're driving. Don't drive like a maniac. When you're at work, be safe while you're at work. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Make sure you're taking care of your physical health. Go to the doctor. Do what you need to do. Uh, I'ma just, and for those that that are new on this channel, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Give this video a fat thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss these type of videos. This video right here is a real talk video. And for those that are new, sometimes I do like real talk videos, where I just talk about, things that's on my mind and, that I can kind of relate to you guys or you guys can relate to me. Or it could be a message out there that someone may need to hear. So this one right here, I've been saying a lot, on social media for the last few years on this topic that I want to talk about. This topic right here, this is for the fellas. I'm talking to y'all. I'm gonna just say this, fellas. The name of this topic right here is gonna be pretty much titled, treat your woman right, spoil your woman, and I just want to say this right here, Renzo Gang, especially for the fellas, especially for this generation. For those that have a woman, make sure you do everything that you can to keep your woman, satisfy her. Make sure you do everything you can to keep her happy, keep her in her feminine energy era. You know, make sure you do everything you can to protect her because men, we are providers and we're supposed to be protect our women, especially if she's your wife, she is your rib. Like y'all are one. Like that's your partner. Like that's your lifelong partner. And this has been on my heart a little bit. I'm not in a relationship, but I can definitely relate because I've been in relationships and I have treated my exes right. Um, and I honestly I don't know what's going on with the new generation, especially with the men. Like y'all have got to learn to treat y'all women right. That's all I'm gonna say. Treat your women right, man. Like at the end of the day, I understand, like men, we go through a lot, but at the end of the day, you treat that woman right. I promise you, like you find the right one, you treat her right. I promise you, she will be in your corner, all the way until the end. Like it's very rare to find a good woman nowadays, fellas. I'm talking to y'all because yeah, like I fumbled, a couple good women in my life before, I even got to the point of dating. And some, majority of them fumbled me. But, I'm not going to talk about that. But if you know that you have a good woman, please, please, for the love of God, please treat her right. Treat her right. Um, oh yeah. What I will say is this, fellas, y'all have got to really learn how to be men. Like you gotta be leaders. You have to lead. Like you have to you have to let your woman be in her soft era. I can't believe I'm even saying this word soft era and all this, that, and the third. But fellas, y'all have got to do what you have to do to make sure your woman is happy and satisfied. Because if you don't, it's a one in a million shot you'll ever find another good woman like that again. I promise you. Once you treat a good person wrong, like God is gonna make it. He's gonna make it impossible for you to find someone, good like that again. Like he'll just have you keep going through, all the heartbreak and trauma, just to teach you a lesson. Now I will say, nobody's perfect. Everyone has made mistakes plenty of times. Everyone's made mistakes. I don't care who you are. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's made mistakes. But the fact that some of y'all do is, y'all have got to start. Y'all got to start acting like men. Y'all have to be providers. Like y'all, you got to go out and get it. Like especially if you plan on having a family, your job is to be a provider. That's even in the Bible. You have to be a provider. Naturally, in the Bible, the God is head of everyone's household. First of all, first and foremost, that's what everyone seems to forget. God is the head of everybody's household, and then it's supposed to be the man, then the woman. And a lot of times, men, like y'all don't take leadership at all. A lot of times, y'all don't take accountability when you do stuff. You know, when you fumble your woman, y'all don't take accountability. That's the problem. Y'all got to learn to start taking some accountability. Y'all got to learn to, not, just treat your woman right. That's all I'm gonna say. Just treat your woman right. All the y'all have got to start treating y'all women right. And if you treat them right, you won't. And a lot of times y'all like to say, like she needs to be my peace. Like you have to give her something in order for her to bring you peace. You have to, you have to have that peace as well. And a lot of y'all get it mixed up where where when y'all want y'all women to be submissive, like a lot of y'all at like, yeah, she submits, she gonna do what I say. Being a dictator, that's not what that means, man. Y'all get that mixed up a lot. Yeah, a woman is supposed to be submissive, but at the same time, y'all have got to value, her opinions and what, also, when she brings stuff like, y'all have to value her opinion always. I'm not saying, always, do what your woman say. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, like, value her opinions and value the things that she says. Take what she say into consideration. Don't ignore your woman. That's another thing, you guys. Y'all just don't pay attention to y'all women. Y'all have got to start paying attention. Her patterns. What makes her happy. What makes her sad. What triggers her. Like the stuff you do can trigger her, and like what is something that can help her with an old trauma that that can trigger her. Certain things that you say can trigger her. Certain things you do can trigger her, and also a woman shouldn't have to keep repeating herself to you. Do you want a woman or you want her to be your mother? Like as a grown man, you should not. Nobody should have to be repeating stuff to you, especially if you have a woman, because she's gonna look at you like you're a little boy, or she's your mother, and she's not. No woman's gonna want to take care of you. Well, in other words, no woman's gonna want a man child. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of times, y'all have got to also not only just pay attention to your woman, like you have to like really like when she's going through something, give her space. Don't crash out on her. Like let her know, that you like show her that that you're there for her. I understand, sometimes, a lot of women can be difficult in this situation, but at the same time, like if you bring in her peace, then like she's gonna stop and realize, okay, he's doing everything he can to, make sure I'm good. So I'm not gonna, make his day hard. I'm gonna try to compromise and, try to make sure, he's good, while he's making sure that I'm good. If that make any sense. If that's not making any sense, comment down below, let me know. And also, fellas, the number one thing y'all have got to start doing is y'all have got to start treating y'all women with respect. And I'm not talking about, I'm is when I say treating women with respect, you know, be honest. The number one thing, be honest. And I'm not saying, be an a-hole when you're honest. Take in consideration how she feels, but always be honest. Because the truth does hurt, especially how you deliver it. Like, don't deliver it all harsh. Try to, I'm not saying sugarcoat it, but at the same time, don't be harsh when you're bringing out the truth, and don't be nonchalant with it. If that makes any sense, don't be nonchalant when you're giving the truth to somebody. That's for anybody, but especially with your woman, don't be nonchalant when you're giving her the truth. Certainly don't lie, because now 9 times out of 10, like, it's going to create a whole lot of scenarios in her head, and then she's going to be questioning you, and then she's not going to trust you, and that's going to get on your nerves. But at the same time, like, you brought this on yourself. Y'all have got to start being honest. Y'all have got to start taking care of your women. You have got to start treating them with respect. Certainly stop putting y'all, don't put your hands on a woman, especially. Now, I don't condone domestic violence on any parts. And to be honest with you, Renzo Gang, like, this topic has been going, like, with the whole dating situation, and like, men. I'm speaking to y'all this time because it's like it's getting ridiculous, and it's really embarrassing, because like, y'all make it hard for the good men out there to actually want to settle down with the woman. Like, y'all make it hard for them. Well, I'm gonna say hard for us, because you know I'm not saying I'm a perfect man, but I do a lot more, better than most of y'all out there. I'm gonna just say that. Like, I'm not toxic like y'all are. I actually sit and I pay attention to a woman, especially if I. Now, my thing, Renzo Gang, is especially if you have a woman, and she really shouldn't have to beg you for her attention. For your attention, she shouldn't have to beg you, to get her flowers. Just pay attention to your woman. Pay attention. She likes such and such things. Plan some stuff. Set it up. She shouldn't have to be throwing hints. You know, Now I can understand, like, if you're trying to propose and whatnot, okay, that's one thing. But like, if you just like, your woman shouldn't have to sound like a broken record begging you to spend time with her. Like, do manly stuff. Learn how to fix stuff. Learn how to change a tire. So she wouldn't have to depend on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the most handiest man in the world, but I ain't just gonna sit there. But it's a whole lot of stuff. You can YouTube a lot of stuff. You can Google a lot of stuff. Like, come on, y'all fellas, don't be that guy that don't know how to do nothing. Don't be that guy, because at the end of the day, like, she's gonna look at you, as when stuff goes wrong, like, she's automatically gonna look at you like, okay, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, 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 boom. You feel what I'm saying? And also for the fellas out there, plan dates, for your ladies. Like, everyone always be saying, like, some people be thinking, like, our relationship is boring, like, there's no spark. Spice it up. That's your responsibility to spice it up. Like, not just, on her, but it's on you as well. You have to, fellas, y'all got to set the tone. Y'all have got to set the tone for your relationships. Y'all have got to set the tone for your women. Because if you don't set that tone, like, you're not gonna go nowhere. Also, Renzo Gang, like, and especially for my fellas, if you know that your woman is not okay with something, you should want to stop whatever it is that she's not okay with, because in her mind, she's gonna feel like, okay, like, you don't care about me, because, like, you know, some certain situations like that can probably potentially put your woman in danger, or cause her to get out of character, cause her to maybe put hands on someone. Y'all have got to start y'all have got to start respecting her boundaries. When she sets a boundary, y'all have got to respect her boundaries. If she's not comfortable with something, don't be tripping about it. Like, actually, talk to her about it, and see, like, what can I do to make sure you're not in this uncomfortable situation. Because if my woman is not happy, then how I look at it is like this: if my woman ain't happy, I'm not gonna be happy, and when I'm not happy, no one's gonna have a good day. I promise you that. And also, don't tell your homeboys and y'all business. And I'm speaking to the ladies too. Like, y'all have got to stop telling y'all homegirls y'all business. Like whatever goes on between y'all, that stays between y'all. Like seriously, stop doing that. Stop airing out y'all's dirty laundry in y'all business, especially on social media. Stop doing that because you look foolish. Like please stop doing that. Stop going to social media bashing each other and then you coming back 3 or 4 days later just to be back with that person. Like both of y'all look foolish. Stop doing that. Uh, also support your partner. Like support your woman, man. Like fellas, y'all gotta learn to stop being in competition with your woman. Like I've never seen nothing like this. Like a lot of y'all are in competition with your woman. Like that's weird to me. Why be in competition with your woman? You should be uplifting your woman, not bringing her down and making her be in survival mode. Your woman should not be in survival mode. She should be, in her feminine, soft area, leaning on you as the provider, protector. And I know there's a lot of good men out here. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the ones, that ain't got it together and probably will never get it together, but need to hear this. I'm not talking to the ones that actually have it together. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not. But for those that don't have it together, like you need to get it together, like for real. Stop being in competition with your woman. Also, y'all have got to learn, and I don't know how many times I got to say this. Y'all have got to learn to be providers. You have to be a hustler because if you cannot financially make it, like you really shouldn't be dating. Because that's another thing about me. Like I want to make sure I have everything together before I start dating. Sometimes it may take a little long. Sometimes the single life is boring, but at the end of the day, like you got to do what you got to do. Focus on you because when you focus on you, a woman can see when a man is focusing on himself. Don't sit out here and chase women. Now, if you have the woman, good, great, perfect. But also, when you have the woman, make sure you're doing everything you can to make sure that you want the life that that both of y'all are comfortable with living. If you have another mouth to feed, to take care of a woman, you have to do everything you can to make sure you are happy and she's happy, especially. You got to make sure your woman is happy. Because if she's not happy, it's not going to be a happy, road for you, my guy. You got to make sure, you spoil your woman. Spoil your woman, like make sure, get your woman some flowers, you know what I'm saying? Like playing like a little something like movie night with y'all too, with her favorite snacks, matching pajamas and matching onesies, whatever. Playing something. Now y'all gotta make y'all relationships, entertaining. Like, cause my thing is this, like, everyone, men always saying, like my woman don't do this, that, and the third. What do you do, for your woman to not do this, that, and the third? Now I can understand, like, if you're doing everything you're supposed to do and she's not doing nothing. Obviously, she ain't the one for you, bro. Move on. Find someone else that's there for you. But my thing is, if you're doing the bare minimum, she's not. Of course, she's not going to do nothing for you when you're doing the bare minimum. Like you have to go above and beyond. And then when you go, your woman saying that you bringing that energy, she's going to bring that same exact energy. Probably bring more energy to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you probably like, oh, you know what? You coming like that, I gotta step up. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you gotta have that spark in your eye, like when you see your woman. Like I don't care, she walking around with a bonnet on her head. Don't sit there and be like, baby, you like boost your girl up. You know what I'm saying? Like boost her up. Y'all gotta learn to start, and then like play with your everything is not so serious. Like play with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Like spark it up. Have fun in your relationship, but also when things get down and dirty, like you gotta be willing to fix things because every relationship is not going to be all hunky dory and roses and sweet strawberries and peaches and cream. It's not going to be like that. Like you're going to have ups and downs. Y'all going to have a lot of trust issues. Y'all got to learn to work through that. And fellas, like you can't just. I understand, like women sometimes they crash out and they don't want to talk. Okay, have your space. Go sit, go chill somewhere in the corner, like do what you got to do, like get yourself together. But like once it's time to talk, like we gonna figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like fellas, like don't be throwing temper tantrums. Like talk to your woman calmly. I can understand if she's talking to you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be a wuss, but at the same time control yourself, control your temper. Because at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, you are the man at the end of the day. Like you're the provider. You're the protector. That's your job. Biblically, that is your job. Like a lot of y'all don't understand, like that's how God put it. Like men, we are the providers. When it comes to relationship, we are providers. A man is not gonna give you his daughter if you're not willing to provide. That's in the Bible. A lot of y'all don't know that, but that's in the Bible. Y'all have to realize a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the foundation when it comes to relationships, God is set in stone way before we were even here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not rocket science, people. Like fellas, y'all got to step up and be men. Y'all have got to step up and be men. Y'all have got to get out of y'all's feminine era because it's really embarrassing. Then, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it does irritate me when women, talk junk and make it seem like all men are not, or are like that, and not. And I ain't like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like and that does get to me, and that does irritate me to my soul. But at the same time, I see why they feel that way, because like a lot of y'all are not fulfilling y'all masculine manly duties. Like you have to fulfill that in order for women to stop thinking that all men are the same when all of us are not the same. That's embarrassing, and it is frustrating, and it's irritating. I'm not gonna lie to you. And with this generation, like y'all have got to get it together, and the women too, y'all got to get it together too. It ain't just us too, it's y'all. But I'm not getting on y'all today. I'm getting on the men right now, because the men, they need to hear this. Well, the boys. I'm not gonna say the men. I'm saying the boys. Y'all need to hear this. Like for real. Like, and everything is not just because she got a pretty face don't mean nothing. Like, how's her head? Like what's in her heart? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like get to know. Y'all gotta. And I say this all the time. Like men, pay attention to your woman. Pay attention to her. Study your woman. Study your woman. Y'all have got to start knowing. Just study your woman before that is your woman. Study her, especially if you know that in your heart and your mind that you're gonna have this woman, and you're manifesting it. Study that woman. Study her. And a lot of times, like it's women that I find interesting, and then a lot of the times they don't have to tell me stuff that they like. I literally sit and I pay attention to stuff that they like. Like if they post it on social media, or if they say, like for example, if a woman in front of me that I'm interested in, and she says something that she likes, I'm gonna get that for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need her to sit there and tell me and bug me and beg me. Like fellas, y'all it's gotta click up here, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's gotta click up here. But I don't want to go on a full rant about this. So I'm just gonna wrap this up. I might do a part two to this. I might, because fellas, like y'all, good lord, fellas, y'all got to get it together. But I will say this: if you truly love and honor and care about your woman, I promise you, God gonna make sure that your woman take care of you when the time comes, when you need to be taken care of. Your woman's gonna take care of you. I promise you that. You just have to do your part as the man. Like you can't always, like, it really is really 50-50. Like y'all both come together as one. It's never just one side, or like it's never that. Y'all both have to come together as one. But men, y'all have to like really fulfill y'all duties as a man. You have to fulfill your duties as a man, because if you don't, like, I don't know what to tell you, big dog. I don't know what to tell y'all, for real, for real. No, but unfortunately, we're gonna wrap this up, Renzo Gang. I just had to get this off my chest. You know, it need to be. This need to be said. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you thought. If you want some more real life talks, like let me know and comment down below, like what you want me to talk about, like real life stuff, whether it's relationships, whether it's sports, mental health. No, comment something down below, and I'll get that for you, Renzo Gang, when it comes to the real life talks. And if you want to see more real life talks, you need some motivation, or you need some uplifting, go in the description down below. Click that link. It'll take you right to my Real Talks playlist. You feel me, Renzo Gang? I love y'all. I will see y'all next time. You feel me, Renzo Gang? Y'all be safe out here. Bundle up, because it is cold out here, Renzo Gang. I love y'all.